In this video, we will see what higher order functions are, how to create and use them, and some examples of built-in higher order functions in JavaScript. By the end of this video, you will be able to write your own higher order functions and use them to make your code more elegant and efficient. So let's get started. So higher order functions are functions that can take other functions as arguments or return other functions as results. This means that functions are treated as values in JavaScript and they can be assigned to variables, passed to other functions, or returned from other functions. For example, let's say we have two simple functions that add or multiply two numbers. Now here you can see we have two functions. This one is to add two numbers and this one is to multiply two numbers. Now let's say we want to create a function that can apply any of these functions to two numbers and print the result. We can do this by using a higher order function that takes a function as an argument and calls it with the given number. Now here I just created this higher order function, which is this apply function. This function has three parameters. First one is the function, and now this a and b parameter are the values that we are going to give to this function as an argument. So this apply function here is the higher order function, and now we can use this higher order function to apply any of the functions that we defined earlier. Now here we can write apply, then our parentheses. Now in here the first argument is this function, which is add, and now the second argument is the value like 3, and similarly we have our second value like 5. Now if I hit save, you can see we have our result, which is 8. Now we can also pass anonymous functions or arrow functions as argument to the higher order function. So here instead of using this add function, I am going to show you how we can use our arrow function. Now here we can write parentheses a and b for our parameters, then our equal to and greater than sign to create an arrow function. Then after this we can write a minus b like this. Now if I hit save, you can see we have our result, which is 2. So here is how we can use our arrow function inside of our higher order functions. So instead of writing all this, we can simply do this. So as you can see, this looks much shorter and cleaner. Now JavaScript has many built-in higher order functions that we can use to manipulate arrays, strings, objects, and other data types. Some of the most common ones are addEventListener, setTimeout, and setInterval. Now this addEventListener function allows us to register a function that will be executed when a certain event occurs on a given element. For example, we can use this function to add a click event listener to a button. Now to show you, I am just creating a button element like this. Now here, in order to select this in our JavaScript file, we need to give this button element a class or an ID. So I am giving this button an ID. Now here we can write click btn like this. Now in order to select this, I am just copying the ID name. Now here to select this button, we can write const button is equal to document dot query selector, and here we can write hashtag because we are selecting an element using its ID. And then after this, we have the ID name, which is clickBTN. Now we can attach an event listener on this button and we can write button dot add event listener. Then here this function takes two arguments. First one is the name of the event, which is click, and then the second one is the function. Now here we can write function, and this function will only log to our console that I got click, like this. Now if we click this button, you can see in our console we have our text string, which is I got click. So this is the example of higher order function, and it's a built-in function that JavaScript provides. Now another example of higher order function is setTimeout and setInterval function. These functions allow us to execute a function after a certain amount of time or repeatedly at a certain interval. For example, we can use this function to create a simple timer that counts down from 10 seconds. Now, in order to create this, we can write let seconds is equal to 10. So here our seconds start from 10. Then here we are going to write our setInterval function, and we are going to store this into a variable with the name of timer. Then here the function is setInterval. Now here the first parameter is the function and the second one is the time in milliseconds. So function like this, and this is our first argument, and the second one is time, which I am setting it to 1000 millisecond. Now here we are going to log by using our template literal. Now here in this first placeholder, I am going to log this seconds variable and then seconds left, like this. Now after this, we are going to decrease the value of this second variable. So here we can write seconds minus minus, like this. And then we are going to check if seconds is equal to 0, then we are going to log time up. And at the end, we will use our clear interval function, and we can write clear interval. Then in here, we are going to put this timer like this. Now after saving, you can see we have a timer, and after each second, the value is decreasing. And when it comes to 0, you can see we have a message time up. So as you can see, this setInterval function takes two arguments, the function that will be executed and this time in milliseconds. Now this function returns a value that we are using to cancel the timer in this clear interval function. So this is the second example of higher order function. Now in this video, we learned about higher order functions in JavaScript. We saw what they are and how to create and use them. And we also saw some examples of built-in higher order functions. We learned that higher order functions are very powerful and useful feature of JavaScript that allows us to write concise and expressive code. They also enable us to implement common patterns such as callbacks, event listeners, timers, and functional programming. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to join this exciting web development journey with us. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Keep coding and keep creating. I will see you in the next video.